Hi, and welcome along to AFTV News Daily, the evening edition. Good evening, wherever you are. Good night, anywhere you are in the world. Good morning, good afternoon. We are here. I'm here on my own today. We were supposed to have Ambush on the show, but he's not feeling very well, so he's been unable to make it. Hoping to have Joel from Cheeky Sport popping in later on, so not going to be on my own for long. All right. Big up to everybody. Hope you've been having a great day. Yeah, we're here to talk all things football, all things Arsenal. As games continue, at the moment, there's been games taking place as I speak. RB Leipzig, last time I checked, they were 2-0 up on Hoffenheim, and Juventus as well. They're playing in the Coppa Italia tonight. They're taking on AC Milan. Big game over there. In Serie A in Italy. So football really is starting to kind of emerge and come back. And on the subject of Juventus, one of the big news stories today is all about Aaron Ramsey. Aaron Ramsey, the reports, and this is reports, that Juventus are willing to put him up on for sale because of the whole coronavirus crisis. Even clubs like Juventus are struggling. They're struggling with money, and they're willing to sell Aaron Ramsey only a year after they bought him, or should I say they got him for nothing from us, Arsenal. Got him for a free. He's at the club. Hasn't really played a lot. He had injuries, as he's always had throughout his Arsenal career. But he's been playing recently and playing pretty well. We've got a few goals in there, and it's been starting to pick up. But it does look like with the amount of money that they're losing, they're going to have to shelve some players, and he's one of those players that they're looking at moving on. Now, I was asking a question. Would you have him back at Arsenal? He's actually on 400 grand a week at the moment at Juventus. How he's going to walk away from that? I can't see him leaving the club when you're on that sort of money, but he's on £400,000 a week. Got that brilliant deal wages wise for him, because obviously they didn't have to pay no fee for him. But would you have him back at Arsenal if he is available come the end of the season? That is what I'd like to find out from you today. And it's really interesting. I think I've got Joel now. Joel, you there? You there, Joel?
I'm here. What's going on?
I'm good, man. I'm good, bro. Was just talking about this Aaron Ramsey thing. Before I get back to the Aaron Ramsey thing, I also wanted to get your views on this. Like all the Arsenal players I noticed today, and lots of players around the Premier League have been posting on their Instagram, and they've posted this post where, let me just find one of them.
It's the Black Lives Matter players. Yeah.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, I saw Righty.
That's Torreira's one. He says it's got on it Black Lives Matter. And every one of the Arsenal players have posted it, and I think other Premier League players as well. Also the Premier League, the players are going to wear, the Premier League have given permission for players to wear, instead of their name, to have Black Lives Matter on the back of their shirt, which is a pretty cool thing. And, are really, really getting behind this whole movement thing. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I mean, I think first of all, I didn't expect it, because I think sometimes our league could be a bit candid with things like this. And we've seen other situations that haven't been dealt with as well. When you look at the Suarez and Evra situation, and, I remember at one point Rio was almost going to get in trouble for wearing something when, the Anton Ferdinand situation happened. So there's been times where, I could definitely say things should have been handled better, but it looks like they're making a step towards the right direction. And I'm hearing that Troy Deeney and Wes Morgan have been vital in this. Vital. That's what I'm getting from Righty's channel.
Yeah, and I think they got Righty involved in it as well.
Oh,
so
okay.
It's a good step.
Yeah,
right? It's a good to see. The only thing, and I did an interview the other day on Sky, and I said this. I said I want to see it though backed up, because a lot of this stuff is symbolic and it's great, but action speaks louder than words. And that means at the highest level, I want to see change. I want to because you've been like myself. You've been to some of these events where FA people are there and Premier League people are there, and the one thing that's always very striking is that there's nobody there that looks like me and you. There's no one there that's black.
Yeah, I think it's when I look at it like this, man, like, you know, the Black Lives Matter. When we say, for you guys watching, when we say Black Lives Matter, it doesn't mean we're saying that other lives don't matter. It's just that this is the subject at hand that we're speaking about. That's what it is. It's like when we talk about illnesses and we, you know, we say we fight against cancer, it doesn't mean we're against other illnesses. It's just that at that particular moment, we're talking about cancer. So right about now, we're talking about Black Lives Matter. So let's get that out of the way first. Let me turn off my WhatsApp. Let's get that out of the way first. And secondly, on top of that, it's, you know, when we say people who don't look like us, there might be some people thinking, what are you talking about? When you look at, you know, Arsenal, you know, you got a multicolored team, but when you got above that, it's the things that we see. So for example, you will have Sol Campbell will be given, you know, a job, but it will be the job near the relegation zone. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, and then after that, he's got to scramble to stay in, and then after that, even when he stays in, he'll get another job, and then it will be another bad job. It's like, you know, Chris Hughton's been good for years. You know what I mean? I sometimes I think, what's the ceiling for Chris Hughton? For me, the ceiling for Chris Hughton is Brighton. It's Norwich. And no disrespect to them clubs, but I'm saying when you got people who are excellent, like talented, but there's only so far that they're ever going to be trusted. And you know, you look at someone like Sol or, you know, Ashley, regardless of what people think of them, some of these guys are football men. There's probably even more. Patrick Vieira, you know, what we ask for is not to just be given these jobs just because our skin color, whatever. It's when we talk about Black Lives Matter, it's also about equal opportunity. It's about being considered the same as someone when you go into the interview job, you know, and that's all that's being asked, you know, because then the best person gets the job. That's what we're saying, you know.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I think for me personally, as I said it the other day when I did that interview on Sky, that's how I'm going to be judging the Premier League. That's how I'm going to be judging the FA. That's how I'm going to be judging Arsenal. That's how I'm going to be judging all of them. Well done to the players. Yet again, the players have stepped up. I saw Hector Bellerin. I saw Mikel Arteta say that it was actually guys like Aubameyang, Bellerin, and that who came to him and said that they want to do something to, you know, as a gesture regarding the Black Lives Matter. So again, it's the players who get criticised a lot all the time. They only got money. They never do anything. They've done a lot. They've donated money during the coronavirus crisis to the NHS, which they didn't have to do. They've done it when I haven't seen certain other people do that. They've now gone and they've made this gesture, and I think it's well done to the players. But I want to see the owners and the Stan Kroenkes of the world and the board members of Arsenal. What are you going to do? The FA, you know, the board members at Man United, at Liverpool, at Chelsea, at all these clubs. What are you going to do to make sure that your clubs are more inclusive at the highest level? And that's going to be interesting to see. But it's a step.
It's a step, you know. It's a step, you know. It's
I'm not going to disrespect. I'm not going to disrespect a step, but it's a step. Right?
No, because even I had to go out there and defend the step the other day, because, you know, when Liverpool put their knees down and whatnot, there was the picture. You know, there was people that said, "Oh, but they handled the Suarez situation badly, didn't they?" And I said, "Listen, it's a step." Do you know what I mean? Like.
Yeah. I agree with you, Joel, on that. I heard a lot of people saying that as well. They're like, "Oh, remember them with the Suarez situation?" And I'll say, "Yeah, but you can't, just because somebody's made a mistake in the past, you can't then hold that above them. What you want to see them do is next time that situation comes, they've learned from that." And I feel that Liverpool have. They were the first club.
They were the first.
Go down on one knee. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So. To me, I always applaud that. You know what I mean? You know, I saw Nikita Paris. She put out a tweet apologizing for some of the things that she did around when, you know, the whole thing with that Mark Sampson thing with the women's football. I applaud those things because, you know, you can't you can't, because of something that's happened a few years ago. You got to forgive people. You got to say to people, all right, what are you going to do if you say you're sorry? What are you going to do the next time something like this happens? And I think Liverpool have really stepped up in this. So well done to Liverpool on that. The other thing I was just discussing just before you came on was Aaron Ramsey. Now, Aaron Ramsey, there's a rumor going around today that Juventus are willing to sell him in the summer, having just got him off of us for nothing. I mean, even how cheeky is that? They're looking to sell him. I've got it for zero. Yeah. I get how bad is it on Arsenal, but they're looking to sell him this summer. And I was asking the question, would you have him back? And then, just before you answer that, let me just do a couple of comments, because loads of comments coming in on this one. Fred says, so Juventus wants money from a player they got for free. We will be foolish to allow him back. At Arsenal, he was shining. Now the reality has dawned on him. Poor boy, go back to Cardiff. That's a bit harsh. Wow. Kay says, it would be outright stupid to buy back a player who refused to sign a contract because of high wage demands. Went on a free, and now to profit another club for a ridiculous amount. I'd rather have us buy Thomas Partey for 45 million, pandemic or not. Darren Bailey says, buy him back when we let him go for free. Ridiculous. Let's not get him. He's pushing on 30 now. We need young, hungry players. Simon says, on loan, he get him back. And Navas says, buy back Rambo now. So, a little bit of a mix there. Where do you stand on it?
Nah, you can't buy him back, man. That's just ridiculous. Do you know what I'm saying? That is, I was with Willow earlier on today, and we had a good 1 hour discussion. We were just chatting Arsenal in his Caribbean shop, Yardman FC.
Yeah.
And basically we were just talking about how we need to make sure that we're very swift with the buys, because I think some of the buys that we've had, even the loans, when you look at Suarez last year, you're looking at, I just feel like our money can be spent in the right areas. Do you see what I mean? We've gone out there and we've bought 2 or 3, we've loaned 2 players, bought David Luiz, but yet we could have just got 1 player. Do you know what I mean? The brother from Leipzig or something that they had, that they were selling. You know what I mean? Like, we've got to make sure that we're just a bit shrewd with what we do. And I think even if you buy him back, let's just say, his wage demands are going to be higher than when he left in the first place. I don't think Aaron Ramsey's eyeing a return back to Arsenal, and I know Arsenal are not looking to buy him back either. I think the people speaking all right. Just be smart with our buys, man.
Okay. Hello Dave says we shouldn't buy back Ramsey for more than 20 million, and obviously a massive pay cut. And he says, and get Cardi back from retirement. Dr. Viraj says, hi Robbie. Aaron Ramsey's past his prime, which was at Arsenal. No need for us to buy him back, owing to his staggering wage demands. Might as well buy a young goal-scoring midfielder like Aurier. And MZ, is this true? MZ says, Man United banter us, yet they lost 2-1 to West Brom with Pogba, Fernandes, Martial and Rashford.
That's true, because Pogba and Fernandes haven't played together.
No, they're saying today, it sounds like today in a friendly.
Oh, really? No. Listen, I need this to be true. You know how vexed I was yesterday? I even went online. I see you talking to Troops yesterday. I see the video. I see you asking a question. You were talking about how worried you were. And what did Troops say? It's just
Let me check this out. If they did lose it, because honestly, they were giving me grief as well. They were giving me grief as well, man. I'm checking this.
Because you know what, yeah? I was fighting and fussing. Man, am I telling me, Raj, you want me to bring up the highlights? Nah, man. I was vexed, and it carried on today as well.
Let me see if 2 hours ago. Sorry, I'm just checking it. Keep talking.
I need it. No, you see me, yeah? Let me keep the people talking.
No. I'm seeing, from what I'm seeing here. Oh no, they played. What happened was, it looks like they played 2 matches. Yeah.
Yeah.
West Brom won one of them 2-1.
And
United won the other one 3-1.
That's not
That's
good.
not right, is it? Doing it. That's a smart way to do it. Because if we would have done that, we would have won the first one. Because we would have won the first part. We would have 1-0 at half time, weren't we? Oh, I don't know.
No, man. I need to check it properly, man. I just put yo in the group message, so I'll see what the guys are saying there. You know what I mean? Like,
it just goes to show friendlies don't really mean nothing, really. You know what I mean? I was saying to troops today, I go, kind of a good thing we lost that game, because there were some people getting carried away when we won that other game 6-0. Tom Box says, hi, Robbie. Ramsey's been my favourite player ever since he joined Arsenal. Devastated when he left. I'd take him back in a heartbeat. There you go.
These men don't know how to invest. Do you see what I'm saying? They don't know where to put the money. We've already got Ozil on 350 bags a week over there. Yeah. And now you want to bring back Ramsey to get near enough the same money. Come on, man. We've got Kalashniak on £185,000 a week. Yeah. It's like, yo, we need to know what we're doing out here. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's
I don't know. This guy, Koji, says Spurs lost to Norwich.
And you can see here Tottenham lost 2-1 to Norwich. Oh, my gosh.
Because you know what? They were giving me...
Tottenham lost 2-1 to Norwich, yeah?
Off of these guys over a friendly the other day.
Robbie?
Sorry?
It's moving slow. I can't hear Robbie.
Can you hear me now? Oh, he's faded off a bit.
Hello?
Yeah? Oh. Let me drop him out and bring him back in a second. I was losing him a bit there. We'll get Joel back in. You back with us, Joel?
Yeah, I'm with you. Can you hear me? Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, your stream was getting a little grainy there. I mean,
sorry.
Drill Boss says, Robbie, I heard that Arsenal got 235 million pounds to spend. Is this true?
You know, I'm hearing the same thing, Robbie. I'm not even lying. I've heard the same thing just now. Let me ask who these sources are from. Like, hold on.
HP, catch up. Because I've been hearing this from this morning, and I heard also it's going to get 150 million pounds to be given by Viona. Now I've been hearing this rumor all day, and you keep searching for that. Yeah, I'll read out a few comments. Find the source of that, because I can't believe it.
Yeah, I'm just seeing.
A lot of people will go with it today. You know. Rodney Trotter, he says, today being the day the Euro 2020 was meant to start, how do you think England would have done? And did you plan on doing a vlog like in the World Cup? And you know what, we were, and I bet Joel was going to be there as well, but we were definitely going to be doing a lot of stuff for the Euros. And I actually think England would have done really, really well. I really do. I said it from the time. I thought they'd had England got a very young team. They've got some good players, Jadon Sancho, Sterling, you know, not going to mention the guy up front, but they've got some good players. You know what I mean? And I think England would have done well. I really do.
Yeah, no, I think all them games were at Wembley, man. I remember when I saw the fixture, Robbie, I was confused. I was just like, "Raw, like, is this right? Like, is this right?" But yeah, they would probably would have done well. And I think the atmosphere and the mood has been good since the World Cup. You know, and I love the fact that Southgate is not afraid to try things in general. So yeah, I think it would have been decent, man. It's a bit of a shame.
It's not just that, they've got good players. They've got very good players. England, very, you know, Rashford. You know, they've got strength in depth. You know, actually, the funny thing is that probably the area of weakness is the defense, which is normally that's normally been the strong area, and then they've been a bit weaker up front. But at the moment, up front, England are good, so I think they would have done all right.
Yeah.
Jam says, hello, Robbie and Joel. Honestly, I wouldn't take him back. I think he's done his time at Arsenal, and it's time for us to look for new, fresh talent. Guna Gamer TV says, I think it would be criminal to buy back Ramsey after he left us on a free. I think he's realised the grass isn't greener. Mind you, that grass is growing 400 grand a week.
I was going to say the same thing, but if I said it, you would have called me a business.
He said we can use the same money to buy a younger prospect. And Hernanta says only us would let Ramsey go for a free and want to buy him back. Listen, we've not said it. We wouldn't say we would buy him back, but I'm just throwing it out there today. You've heard a few people say they'd have him back. CJ says Ramsey, no way, Robbie. But then Taylor Lamar says bring him back on loan. What about that? What about a loan deal?
No, do you know why? Yeah, because loans are not cheap no more. If we wanted to loan Coutinho for a year, that would be 10 million. Do you see what I mean? I'm not saying it would be as expensive, but sometimes loans are more expensive than buying the player itself. Do you know what I mean?
Actually, on that, there's another story that's sort of been emerging today about Coutinho, that Barcelona are willing to, now this is, again, these are only rumours, but it's saying that Barcelona are willing to drop some of their demands on Coutinho. So that 10 million loan fee, they're willing to drop that, and they're willing to compromise on his 250,000 a week wages. In other words, willing to pay some of that wages. In that case, would you have Coutinho?
Yeah, I would, because I think the guy's magic, you know. I think even taking it back to World Cup 2018, I know a lot has happened to players since then, etc. But what I liked about him is the way he dictates, man. I think the only reason why it's a bit tricky to even want to go for him is, yes, he can come in from the left, but I just don't see how it would work with Ozil there, man. I just think you have one or the other. Competition, but I don't know. I agree, but I just think when you look at our financial sides, if you're going to be paying one player that much and another player, you know, yes, I know that the wages might be covered for. I just don't see how it works and financially and in the team. You just got to drop one, and then if you drop one, do you really want someone that you're paying 350 grand a week to just be rotting on the bench? I don't see it working, man. I don't see it working.
Alvian says, Joel, why is there so much bias at Cheeky Sport against Arsenal?
We hired certain. Listen, let me tell you something. The admins, on Arsenal, they're a bunch of pagans, right? On Cheeky Sports, like we've got in Matisse, who is a top, and Robbie, this is a good one. He's a top Chelsea correspondent, blowing up the Twitter world since he's come in to Cheeky Sport, right? He's just been using the agenda, bruv, against him, and then we've got Tariq, who's a Spurs fan. He's vet, so he's just come in. So we've got a line of admins that are really talented, but they're very biased. You're right, man. Sorry.
Aish says,
but check out the Matisse guy, though, Robbie. When you're doing the Chelsea games, you'll be very impressed with him.
Okay, we'll do, man. Aish is saying that I think this is regarding Man United. He said they won one of their games when they played the youth. They lost the second one with Pogba and Bruno playing. Wow. If that's true. Wow. It's only a friendly, though. Friendly. And Pogba hasn't played for ages, has he?
Nah.
What's this guy says, I would rather buy Yaya Sanogo's back than Ramsey.
You're pushing it, mate.
Easy Adder says, the fact that Robbie is even asking the question about Ramsey encapsulates how pathetic and mediocre our fan base is. Well, listen, I'm asking the question, Easy, right? And there's people saying that they'd have him back.
Nah.
They'd have him back. They'd have him on loan. We've already had people who said that.
That's a joke.
And actually, and if you look at Arsenal this season, we have only scored 2 goals from midfield in the Premier League. 2 goals. So, yeah, you're looking like that. So that's what I'm saying. And Ramsey, one thing about Ramsey, he's a goal scorer in that midfield.
Not really, Robbie.
He scored more. Well, he's scored more goals at Juventus than 2, and he's hardly, he hasn't even played a full season. He scored more goals than that.
Fair enough.
2 goals, 1 from Ozil, 1 from Torreira. That's it. All season in the Premier League.
I can't believe that, man.
Well, that's the truth.
I didn't even know.
Ramsey would. I think he would score way more goals than that if he's fit. He'd score more goals than that.
Another thing, though, Robbie. You just said it there. If he's fit, we can't be out here spending money on these guys that have been on the sidelines for like half their time. Nah, man. Thank you for what you've done. Right, Aaron, we loved you at the time. It was great whilst it lasted. But sorry, do you know what I mean? If we should have kept him, but the time's gone now. I'm not trying to do this whole, you know, like what do they call it when you start living in the past? You start reminiscing about, nah, I'm not interested. We can put that money in better places. We can invest it in better places.
Okay, Doc says, Robbie, stop going back to the X's like it's Highbury. It's over. We had a good time with Ramsey, but it's time to move on. And Ozil played well this season when he had Willock, or
CE.
allow him behind him.
Okay.
Ozil's not played well this season. I'm sorry, he's not.
Yeah.
He's a couple of little spits and he's one goal. One. Yeah?
Yeah.
One goal in the league. And the one thing about Ramsey, we know that he's a goal scorer from midfield. Baron says,
Robbie, he's not a goal scorer. Like, you're saying it like he bangs goals. He doesn't bang goals. You know, he
bangs more than one.
Yeah, but that doesn't make you a goal scorer, does it? Do you know what I mean?
He scores more than these guys that are here now. That's what I'm saying.
All right, but I'm just saying. But even then, it doesn't mean it's perfect. Do you see what I'm saying? Like,
it's better than one, isn't it? One.
Yeah. But is that worth spending the amount of money that they're gonna go and buy him just for them couple of goals extra that he's gonna give us? Come on, man. Do you know what I mean?
Baron says, "Hi guys, what do you guys think about Jonathan David from Ghent? Young player, scored a lot of goals in the past 2 seasons. I think he even helped in midfield. Arsenal have been linked with Jonathan David. Arsenal and Man United said to be the players that are really interested in trying to sign him. But I just don't think we need forwards at the moment. Do you think?
I'm not. It's not a priority. Yeah, but we don't. We've got Eddie and Nketiah, we've got Martinelli, we've got Aubameyang, we've got Lacazette. None of them are going anywhere. You're right. We don't need to. And even when you're looking at the fact that we've got the likes who can play a little bit behind them or on the wings, like, you know, Reece Nelson, we're cool. We're cool in that department. Do you know what I mean? When I think of Arsenal, I don't think of the amount of goals we're not scoring. I think of the defense, you know, and the creativity that we can do with in the midfield. That's what I think about.
And goals. Goals. HY says, Robbie, the news about the 235 million deal is misleading. The 235 million is currently cash in our reserves, which is being used to pay off the stadium debt. It's up to Kroenke to pay 235 million. And Doc said, I meant Willock or Ceballos. So when he said C, he meant Ceballos behind him. Remember the way forward, the way for the game, he was playing well and Emery subbed him off and we drew the game. I think he means the Watford game.
Yeah.
Yeah, but honestly, I've not seen enough from Mesut Ozil this season, especially when you're thinking about the money he's on. He's a guy, for me, that needs to finish the season strongly. He's not had a great season. I know, you know, I don't know what Emery was doing with him at times, but he needs to finish the season strongly, man. It's been disappointing from Mesut Ozil. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I think I remember the Watford game. Brilliant game when we played away. Fantastic. He was running the show. Do you see what I mean? Like, I remember that game. You know what I mean? But
32 shots we conceded is what I remember.
Yeah. I remember when we started, you know, we were trying to play it from the back and it went a bit pairs and that. I remember that as well. Do you know what I mean? But same time you say that, yeah, you look like you're still got the bitterness in your mouth, Robbie. You're still vexed.
No, I am.
Yeah. But when you look at it, like, look, man, I'm not gonna come here and start defending him for the sake of it. It's not good enough, man. Like, when you're looking at, if you look at another player and you consider another player who would be on near enough that amount of money in the Premier League, and you see how they will be performing, you're looking at your De Bruyne's, you're looking at your Sterling's, you're looking at Liverpool don't pay their players that high, but you're looking at Virgil van Dijk. You know, you're looking at, those are the players that are on that high end. And can we say that Mesut is been anywhere near that standard? You know, we can't. You know, let's be honest with you, we can't.
Yeah, definitely. Trent Singh says, rather us have an efficient midfield like Liverpool Attack through fullbacks to support the attack. Don't want Ramsey back and his silly flicks.
Oh, come on.
That's harsh. Amra says, Joel, we need all the help we can get. You think Ramsey will flop if he returns? Don't think so. The prodigal son shall return.
AFTV's got some. So, no, there's a bag
the
of
prodigal son. Yeah, the prodigal son will return. Jack Taylor says, stop all the attacking talk. I beg you, we get a defender and a DM. Partey and a solid centre-back, please. Kingsley Opera says, I would welcome Ramsey back in a heartbeat. His cup-winning goals would be useful to the team, but buying him back is just awful business. He scored more goals than these guys that are there at the moment. You know what I mean?
Man, Robbie, stop it, man. You can't. You're going on as if Ramsey's been prolific. Don't get me wrong, yeah. I like the big goals that he scores. He's a big game player. I can't take that away from him. You know what I mean? Like Chelsea, do you know what I mean? Like FA Cup, we love it. But let's stop going on as if he rains goals. Do you know what I mean? Like you would get more goals from Theo Walcott in a season than you would from him. Yes, I know that Theo was like a forward/winger, but I'm just saying, innit? Like in terms of ability and effort, it was great. It was brilliant. I think he would definitely fit into an Arteta team in that sense. But, you know, we've got young boys that we should be given an opportunity to, man. I'd rather do that than go back. You're going backwards. Why do we want to go backwards?
Dungeon Master says, if there's a chance, is there a chance of Ozil Ramsey swap? Will you take thoughts? What would you do? Ramsey Ozil swap. Would you do that?
Yeah, real quick. No hesitation.
This guy says Ramsey scored 4 goals in his last season at Arsenal and 7 in his second to last in the league. He scored 3 goals in Serie A this season. Arsenal want a player at this level back at the club. Hold on. I remember the last season that he was where he scored the 4 goals was an injury-ravaged season, yeah?
Oh, so let's bring back an injured player then.
No, hold on. Injury-ravaged season, and the previous season he had a lot of injuries as well. 7 and 4. How many of the ones scored this season? That's what I'm asking you, Joel. I'm not necessarily saying bring him back, but I'm saying how many goals have they scored?
Yeah.
Torreira 1 goal, Ozil 1 goal all season. Survive 2 goals.
Your wife,
no goals. Willock, no goals. You know, it's not good enough, man. Guendouzi, no goals. They don't score no goals.
Listen, we're not taking that away, innit? I'm not saying you're wrong there, but you're winding me up because you're practically suggesting, yeah, that we bring back a player with these stats. Look what Shorjan Drenda Roy just said.
He's better than what we got. He's better than what we got. I could do. I mean, it would be if we had someone who scored 7 this season. That'd be great.
So what? You'll be willing to pay the wages that Ramsey wanted before he left? Just
of course not.
But there you go. Then we can't even guarantee that he's going to be fit. Nah, man, Robbie, you're pushing the agenda still. Look, nah.
Jack Taylor says give Willock and Emil Smith-Rowe a chance and put the money into a DM and a centre back. We need to be smart for once and build the right way. What about loaning him back?
The problem is it's the price of the loans these days, Robbie. Like the loans sometimes feel like you might as well just buy the player. And don't forget, we let him go for free. How are we going to be held ransom, yeah, for 2-3 million a year, not including wages, yeah, whatever that loan's going to be, yeah, just to get him back? It's bad business. We've sat here and criticised Arsenal. The last time I was on this show, you were not happy with the people upstairs because we would be being taken for mugs by clubs such as Chelsea. We would get the rotten David Luizes. We linked with the rotten Willians. We linked with the past it checks. And now you want Juventus just because they're across seas for them to give us back a guy who we know is injured, yeah? And then they charge us for that on top of it just because he scored a couple goals. Nah, man. Come on.
Right. Nah. Johnny Bell says part of the reason we are where we are is because we settle for average players like Ramsey, not good enough. I'm not sure. He's not an average player.
Average. Not average. No one said he's average.
Harmanta says if we weren't scoring goals from midfield, then we'd be leaking goals from midfield. I agree with Rob. We need more goals from our midfield. Midfield don't score no goals, man. I'm trying to tell you that, John, man.
You're going as if I said they do. I'm just saying, instead of taking that money and putting it in Ramsey, where we don't even know if he's going to give you 20 games in a season, invest it somewhere else.
Now, I wouldn't pay money for him, but if there was like maybe a loans thing, like some people are suggesting.
Nah, get Ryan Fraser. I'd rather that.
Ryan Fraser.
Get Ryan Fraser. I'd rather him, yeah.
What's he done this season? All right, on your point, what's he done?
All them men that are not scoring, yeah, he'll at least create opportunity. Do you see what I mean?
How many more wingers are you going to get?
Is he
how many more? You know, if we get any more wingers at Arsenal, we may as well get propellers as well.
Has he?
I don't know how many wings we're going to have.
Has
right?
he?
A bird only has 2 wings. How many more wings we need?
Listen, I'm looking at it from the perspective of free players, right? We're here pushing this free. I don't even know what these guys would. Whatever Juventus came back and offered us, I'll feel disrespected. Can you imagine they come back to you and they say, yeah, if you want them back for a season, 1.5. You're telling me you would pay it, Robbie?
1.5 what, million?
Yeah.
What is like a fee?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll pay that. 1.5 million pounds for Aaron Ramsey. Of course I'll pay that.
I don't know, bruv. You're stunting growth, man. You're stunting growth, including wages. What would he be on wages then?
No, well, obviously we wouldn't pay them wages. He's not going to get. That's why I think anyway he won't leave, because he ain't going to get them wages anywhere. Nobody's going to pay that, especially now with the whole pandemic thing. I can't see how they're going to get him off the books, because they think they signed him on a 3-year deal. Obviously, they paid him a lot of money in wages because they didn't have to pay a transfer fee.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no chance that they're, but if there was a deal that could be done and it was cheap, 1.5 million, and we could, say 100 grand a week, I'd have him.
Yeah, 1.5 at 100 is okay, but that's not the case, Robbie. We know that's not the case. We know that's not the case.
What if it's a loan? If it's a loan deal and it's...
Robbie, I'm not really convinced. Like one of the guys said earlier on, we need to stop looking at the X's as if it's Highbury. We need to be looking forward. That's what I'm saying, man.
Richard says, Robbie, you know what I like about Ramsey? He played with love for the club. He knew what derby games was all about. He played with heart and dignity.
Listen, are we going to just start naming old players and say what they've done for the club? Because we can do that all night long. We can do that all night long.
Not in recent times. Welsh lad he says, have you heard that Cedric could be leaving Arsenal without even playing a game for the club? He said, typical Arsenal, loves wasting money. Something needs to be done. Wasting money on players we don't even need or are going to play. Then we could be put that money to better players. Questions need to be asked. Thoughts? I've read that, and I must say, that is a possibility. It could happen, because what they're basing, obviously, with the whole coronavirus thing, and he's on apparently 65,000 a week. So I presume Arsenal will be paying part of that loan. He hasn't played a game, and even the other day, he's not even played in any of the friendlies. Now he's got a mask on. I think he must have broken his nose or something. He could leave without playing a game. That was like another Denis Suarez, even worse. It's ridiculous. We're bringing on Socrates to play at right back in these friendlies at the moment.
And then you want to go to Italy when there's injured players, yeah? Instead of us looking in the future, you want us to then go, Robbie, come on, man.
And it was a bit of a strange signing because we got Ainsley Maitland-Niles there. He's been playing at right back.
Yeah, but that's easy to say now. But if you really look at it, I think it was very obvious that Ainsley needed some support. And, of course, Bellerin wasn't there. So at the time...
when we bought Cedric, Bellerin had come back. Right? I remember Ainsley was playing. And then, he's playing quite well. And then we bought back in Bellerin. And then sort of Bellerin's been playing since then. And then we went and got another right back. And at the time, I'm thinking, I'm not against Cedric. He's a decent. When I saw him at Southampton, I've always thought he's a good player. But I'm like, looking at him like, is that what we need right now? It's January. It's not like it's like the end of the season. It's January. Did we really need to bring in Cedric on loan? And then we brought him in now, and I presume we're playing half of his wages, which he gets 65 grand, and he ain't played a game. Questions do need to be asked, like that guy said. It's a completely weird. It's like we keep getting linked to this guy, PSG, the left back, and I'm like, well, how many more left backs are we gonna have? That's what I mean. We love we like wide players. We buy all these wide players, right? But we never buy centre backs. Although actually at the club at the moment we've got about 8 centre backs.
Yeah, we do, but you know what I mean.
As the old Jamaican saying goes, my mum used to say, all of them can't make one.
Yeah. Listen, but when you look at our centre backs, you can talk about we've got centre backs. When you look at our centre backs, it's not, you say we've got them, but do we really have them? Do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah. Carl Kamara says Ramsey can give it all for this club, and currently he's the missing piece in our midfield. So there's a lot of support for Ramsey.
Robbie, this agenda, honestly, like you're just winding me up, bro.
Not an agenda. Look, I'm putting it out there, and you've got man coming in who agree with you and saying no, but then you've got other man who's saying,
nah, there's nothing that supports that makes sense for him. There's nothing.
Ashton says, hello, Robbie, Joel. Remember what Ramsey said. We lost an important player to injury. Emery's still moaning. If Ramsey would not have been injured, we could have been in the top 4. Yeah, do you remember that? That's what Emery said. And Emery said, like they asked him the other day, he said, had he have not lost Ramsey to injury, he thinks we would have made the top 4. He was such an important player. And then he got injured, and he blamed that. He blames everything, but he blames that as one of the reasons why he didn't get into the top 4.
Well, I know that he was a massive fan of Ramsey, because I truly believe that if Emery was the one sorting out the deal, they would have, because they had to pick, isn't it? It would have been, I think, the way the wage is done, they couldn't have, couple players on that Ozil kind of transfer money. Otherwise, that would have just messed up everything for the club. So I personally believe, obviously, we saw how Emery felt about Ozil. If he was there at the time in the contract negotiations, he would have given the money to Ramsey, and we would have had Ramsey playing. But it didn't happen that way. We got to move forward. We got to look forward.
Let me ask you a question: who's better, Ramsey or Guendouzi? Who would you rather have, Ramsey or Guendouzi?
In the long term, I'll stick with Guendouzi.
I'm asking you now. Don't give me no long term. Yeah. I aim is to try and get top 4 or 5, right?
Ramsey.
Ramsey or Ceballos?
Ramsey.
Ramsey or Ozil?
Oh, Ramsey.
Ramsey or Willock?
Whatever you say, you're not proving a point, though.
I'm asking you.
No, I gotta switch my position here. I never said that he was a bad player. I'm just saying from business wise, it doesn't make sense. Look at what just happened with Cedric. Look what happened with Suarez last season. Look at what's going on. You're talking about.
I'm a football fan. Yeah, I'm a football fan. I'm not a business manager. I'm a football fan. What's happening well now? And if Ramsey was obviously you can't get him on loan now because we're near the end. But if it's said next season Ramsey on loan, especially with this whole COVID thing, I'd have him.
Yeah, what my problem is, Robbie, listen, don't act like you're not a businessman. When you look at David Luiz, let's take the David Luiz transfer, for example, are you happy that we've paid £8 million for David Luiz and the wages he's probably on?
He's on 120 grand a week.
I didn't know. I thought he was on more than that. But do you reckon that's worth the buy? It hasn't been worth the buy. And that's That's the players.
You know what? They took a chance with that, innit? They couldn't get the centre backs that they really wanted, and they took a chance with David Luiz, and I don't know. He's improved under Arteta.
Everyone has though.
Like,
everyone has. But it's like,
let's be honest. £8.5 million for a player is nothing for a Premier League team like Arsenal.
But
so they got him on the cheap. He's coming towards the end of his career. Why are we? I always say this, yeah. Only Arsenal fans you speak to, like every Arsenal fan, we're like accountants. He's on 120 grand a week. He gets this. The loan deal with that. When I speak to fans of Liverpool, it's true though. When you speak to a Liverpool fan, when you speak to a Man United fan,
because Liverpool don't play their play.
You never hear these men saying, "Oh, he's on 120 grand," and if you minus that away and take away that, and I mean, we know the shopping bill of our players. I don't care, man. I want players that come in and perform on the pitch. Right? Why is it always us talking about wages? No, but we can't because if we spend 50 pounds, come on, man. I want to see this. We said we're going to operate like Bayern and them clubs when we went to the Emirates. When I used to go to Highbury, one time I asked that I didn't even know what Thierry Henry was on. I didn't know what Thierry was on. Did you? Did you say, "Oh, Dennis Bergkamp's on X amount of money a week," or how much money was Aboué on?
It didn't matter at the time.
All of a sudden now, that's what's been. You know what? That's been Gazidis and them, man. They changed us, right? Now we've all become accountants and business managers at Arsenal. Oh, we can't get him because he'll want 50 grand. And he might want 80. Oh, come on.
Being a hypocrite. Let me tell you why you're being a hypocrite, yeah? Because 10 minutes ago, you're the one complaining that Cedric's going to leave and we paid money and he ain't going to play.
No, they've got me. Listen, they've got me as well. You know what? Me as well. They've conditioned me as well. I'm always talking about bloody wages. And then when I speak to my friends, United fans, and they don't tell me, boy, Bruno's on this.
Especially Liverpool don't talk. I don't hear nothing about their players' wages. Nothing.
No, it's only us. Only ever us here is like every Arsenal fan can tell you every single player's wages.
The only people that we know wages about is all of the Arsenal squad and Raheem Sterling, and obviously the United players. But that's the circle of But you know what? I'm sorry, but we have to be a bit. I believe, Robbie.
We need to operate like a big club, man. Doc says, don't bring any Silva or Kazawa. That was the guy I was thinking of, Kazawa, to Arsenal. I don't want any PSG rejects. Silva is only captain of PSG by default. Like Xhaka, he cries too much, and I don't want them anywhere near the club.
Do you know what it is?
Tony says, I agree with Joel on the Ramsey thing. Hayden says Ramsey should be captain of the club.
Yeah, he's right.
It shouldn't even be a debate whether we buy him back. I10 says getting Ramsey for a full or loan would look bad on the club. Either way, would lose money. Here we go again. Lose money and pay a high wage.
But Robbie, listen to this, yeah. We have to be wise. Because obviously, do you know why our man are like this, Robbie? Is because we know that we ain't got a lot of money to play with. We know we ain't got a lot of money to play with. We know it.
You know when they send out that season ticket packet. Every year the season ticket thing.
Yeah.
A little pack where you get a couple of little gifts in it, where a little hat and all that. Next year they should just send out some calculators. Because that is we're just forever adding up. Yeah, he's on. How much wages is he on?
A calculator.
He's on how much? Let me see now. No chance. Can't get in because the wages. Honestly, they've conditioned us, man. As I said, when I was at Highbury, I didn't know what man was on.
But we were winning back then, so obviously it don't matter. When you're winning, it don't matter, Robbie. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
You know what? The club was run different as well. You had David Dean and them, man. They're doing proper deals, and fans weren't worried about those things. They weren't worried. All they were worried about was the performance on the pitch and getting in quality players. Now, we've been conditioned since we went to that Emirates, because the first thing they conditioned us with is they used to say, oh, well, we can't do that because we're paying off for the stadium. Well, now we ain't paid off for this stadium, man. This is the
no, we have paid it. We have paid it.
The other day, a man told me we ain't paid yet. We still got more.
No, listen, now we've paid it. We've paid it off. We paid it off. Wenger kept us in the green. Remember war chest? Remember war chest? 70 million war chest, they told us. But listen, remember that 70 mil war chest. Remember, do you know what makes me laugh as well? Even when they're mentioning Silva and that from PSG, you're right. Automatically, I'm thinking, can't pay it what he wants for a 35-year-old. That would be crazy. That's what I'm thinking immediately.
You go, and I'll tell you, you've got, when you go sit around with them Chelsea man and that's on your thing, right?
Yeah.
You listen to them, you see if they're chatting, calculating, and well, no, we can't have Ramsey back because, you know, the wage and they just be like, it's either like, yeah, you know what, bring him back, he's quality, or nah, you know what, nah, he's been there, done that, cool. That, you don't hear them discussing, but with us, hold on.
You know, but you know what though, I can counter that though, Robbie.
Can't do it, you know what I mean?
I'll counter that because I've seen a lot of, like, them man were talking to me this week saying how good their transfer thingy is. They've got one brother over there that's obviously they sold Hazard for 153. They've you know what I mean? They've got in Ziyech and they've got in Werner, and it's all like a good price. Do you see what I mean? So they have been playing the money game.
Yeah, but they're not like us, where you can go to all the, if I put it out in a group, right, of all the people who are commenting, and I said, yo, tell me the wages of the players, they could probably tell me the wages of all the Arsenal players. You went to a Chelsea man, he said, tell me, how much is Kante on? They say, oh, well, mind your own business. I don't know.
Yeah.
This is what Kante's on. All I want to know is when he gets on the pitch, he plays one.
That's what me and Yardman were doing.
They've turned us into, man. They've turned us into that since we've been to this Emirates Stadium. That's why now, the more I think about it all the time, I'm like, we should have stayed at Highbury, man. We shouldn't have left. But we have had no benefits. There's been no benefits as far as football is concerned for Arsenal in moving to the Emirates, apart from we get more fans in it. I don't see no football benefits in it. That we went from a club that we were challenging every year to a club now that, you know what I mean, we're like Poundland, and every day we're there calculating wages and I'm tired of this.
You can't put that down strictly just because we moved from Highbury to the Emirates. You're just throwing your toys at the pram. Because if you really look at it, there's been opportunities for us to make that one move that will make the next step, and it will be the manager's decision that he didn't want to do it. If you look back at, for example,
why is that decision?
If you look at because listen, I believe you're going to tell me, Robbie. Let's be real. If Wenger didn't want, he wouldn't have pushed for Suarez. You got to understand it.
What did he say? Or literally every time he didn't get a deal done, what was always the excuse? Oh, the money. The wages. The wages was this, that. Even the other day, I saw they've done a few interviews with that guy Dick Law, like the previous transfer guy, and I was reading a lot of what he said, and on a lot of deals, he's like, yeah, once we heard that the agent wanted X amount, we just said no. But the other clubs are doing it. I mean, listen, we do know that agents, too much money does go out of the game. But in our case, we were just like, we weren't dealing with certain agents. You know what I mean? We just, honestly, and all of it boils down to the fact that money.
Listen, stop. Let me stop you there, yeah? Because David Luiz's agent got paid a very nice fee for this move from Chelsea to Arsenal, yeah? When you look at the fact that, like I said to you last time I was on there, we paid for Aubameyang. We paid good money for him. We paid good money for Lacazette. Do you see what I mean? We can't act as if we ain't been buying, guys. You know, we've done some clever transfers as well. We got Kolasinac. That was very nifty. We've paid for David Luiz. You know, we've loaned in Ceballos. You know what I mean? Even players like Mari, we've been shrewd, man. Pepe, we can't go on as if we ain't spent, man. I'm sorry, Robbie. I can't have you make this as if it's a pure money thing and we're not trying to do anything. Nah, bro. Nah, man. Fair enough. Not all.
Last season they spent a bit. But really and truly, a lot of times when and I know it's a self-sustaining model, but a lot of times when we've only spent really in reaction to selling a good player. So we sold Alexis Sanchez. Then they panic. Oh man, the fans! You can imagine them sitting in that board meeting. Going, yeah, man, the fans, bro. Alexis, that's our best player, and not only that, he's doing a Van Persie. He's going United. What are we gonna do? We'll give some big wages. We can't afford to let Ozil go, so we'll give him some money to ridiculous money.
Ozil was playing well at the time.
We'll say to United, it's got to be a swap deal and a Mkhitaryan.
He was a good player. He was. If you had the opportunity to get Mickey, that you saw how man was moving at Dortmund. You saw it.
Yeah, that's the Dortmund Mickey. We weren't getting the Dortmund Mickey.
You weren't happy with Jose. You weren't happy with Jose. You know it yourself.
You see how he was moving at United?
The amount of times I've spoken to you about Jose Mourinho and you've said to me, clear on, them man there, the way they treat players, it's not the way. We weren't complaining. What? I
wanted to keep Alexis.
Yeah, but listen, when someone's throwing their gloves on the ground and acting like they're the only person in the club, Robbie, I'm not up for that. I'm not letting anyone stick me up, you know.
The man's got vexed because he see lack of ambition at the club. And you can understand that.
Yeah, but you don't have to do it there. If I'm angry with you, Robbie, I don't need to go stand in the middle of waiting for AFTV and I stand in the middle and I sulk and I throw my gloves in the air. You say, Joel, if you got a problem with me, you go do it somewhere else. And he's a professional. Nah, bro, I'm not.
Maybe he was cussing at that time and they didn't listen. So he said, yeah, when I got on the pitch, I'm going to fling down my gloves.
It don't make it right. Is it okay? Is it okay if Troops has got a problem for him to come in the middle of an interview with you and Kelechi and he just sit there after a thing and just go, no, bro.
He does that anyway. He does that anyway. And DT. Flo says, why sign Ramsey when we can sign Donny van der Beek for an extra 10 to 15? There we go, money again.
I'm saying
10 to 15 million. Donny's younger and better.
Listen,
I remember, right, Fergie, yeah? I remember Fergie when he went and bought, he done this twice. He needed a goal scorer. He went and bought Henrik Larsson.
Oh, that was a good loan. That was a great
I remember at that time, Henrik Larsson was what? How old was Henrik Larsson? He was knocking on a bit, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He just said, you know what? I need goals. Go and get Larsson in. They won the league. We'd be like, oh, but you know, age and the amount of money he's going to want wage.
But Robbie, you're trying to tilt the thing because first of all, Henrik Larsson is not.
I'm frustrated.
Robbie, Henrik Larsson, first of all, is not like you're any man that you can just loan. That's a legend right there. For me personally, he's the best Swedish player ever.
Would we have got him now? When Fergie got him, would we have done a deal like that? We wouldn't have done it, man. Because of the money, we would have looked on it. We said, because of his age and the amount of money he's going to, we wouldn't have got him.
We wouldn't have done it, but that's because Wenger didn't really like the 30+ guys. Do you see what I'm saying? He wasn't really a fan of him.
And why was this 30+ rule? Again, because we moved to the stadium, money's short, any money's over 30. It's a bit like them films, you know. I mean, you ever seen that? I forgot the name of that film. And when you get over a certain age, they say, right, you've got to get killed. And they have to go on the run and thing. Over 30 rule. Which other club had that?
But he's gone back on it, though. He's gone back on it. You know what I mean? Because look, I did an interview the other day. I did an interview with Sol Campbell a couple of weeks ago, and he said that it's a brilliant story, Robbie. I need to send it to you. I can't even lie. He said that Sol was still training. He was training with the team and blah, 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 blah. And then the training staff was saying, listen, take a look at Sol. Take a look at Sol. Wenger was not having it. Then one day, obviously, you know, you got the stats and stuff that come in. And Sol's performing as good as, you know, the first team players. So then what happens after that is he quickly brings back Sol and he goes, all right, cool, Sol. And he puts him up against Fabregas. because he wanted to, he wanted to show that basically he ain't got it anymore. Sol did his job. He did his thing. He goes, Wenger didn't even speak to him. He walked off. But then after that, he came back to him and he said, you know what? We'll sign you to the end of the season. And he's done it a couple of times. He did it with Henry as well. Do you know what I mean? So we can't say that it's all one way, Robbie, man. I just think you're being a bit biased at the moment. I can't lie, man.
No, I'm not being biased. I'm fed up.
Nah.
Honestly, right? Honestly, I've had enough, man. I mean, you get fed up, man. I want our club to be able to go out and buy players and do business like a lot of the other clubs. I just get fed up. Why are we look at the size of this club, man? Worldwide, well-renowned, makes millions, billionaire owner, 60,000 fans every week, highest ticket prices, and every time we go to buy a player, man's got calculators out. Oh, I don't know, because
everyone's got a calculator.
And if I buy him, I mean? No, I'm not bloody hell, man. When is it going to be that a major player comes up and we're in for it? Where we say, because I remember, I always said this, I always tell this story, right? I said one day to, I was with a couple of different fans, like I think it was a Chelsea fan, a United fan and that, right? And I forget the play, I think it was when Neymar went to
Barca.
He went from Barca to PSG. It was a few years ago, yeah. And we were all discussing at the time, and I was like, "Boy, I go, you know what? Arsenal should have been in for it." And they just looked at me. They're like, "Oh, Arsenal!" Right? And the man, them laughing at me hard, right? And I walked off right afterwards, and I'm thinking, I shouldn't be getting laughed at. When I'm not saying that we should. I'm not saying that we should buy Neymar. But when Neymar's getting linked, when Neymar's available, he'll get linked to Man United. He'll get linked to Chelsea. He'll get linked to, obviously, Man City, possibly Liverpool. But if you mention Arsenal, people start laughing. How can that be when you look at the size of this football club? How can that be that people are laughing? That should be considered an option. We're in London, the biggest club in London, and they're laughing and saying, "Come on, Robbie," as if to say, "Robbie, are you stupid?" Neymar, Arsenal. Why? Why not?
But listen,
why shouldn't we be in that conversation?
Robbie, the owners who are owning those other clubs, their pockets are deep. Abramovich, the Man City sheikh, the guy that's coming in at Newcastle, apparently he's richer than all of them.
The pockets, this guy's a billionaire, billions, boss. He's the third richest guy in the Premier League, right? He's a billionaire.
Kroenke.
Right? Kroenke is a billionaire, yeah? As a matter of fact, before he took over the full control of the thing, we had 2 billionaires running the club. Combined the two of them, right? Worth about over 20 billion. More than United, right? And yet still, when we talk about any player, everyone we starting laughing. So why did we leave Highbury for? I know I'm ranting a bit tonight, but honestly, I keep thinking about why? What was the point? I'm sorry, this comment says, I'm running out of time on the show now as well. It says, give Mkhitaryan a chance over Ozil because he's gotten his confidence back after a good season at Roma. Love from Armenia. No?
Nah, we ain't doing that, man. We're past that. This is what I'm saying. You guys just want to go back to some history business. Do you know what I mean? We got to look forward. You guys are just out here playing with, reminiscing. We don't need that at the moment. We don't need that.
This guy sums it up. I don't know if he's a guy or a lady. Mally says, Robbie, our owner, not interested in winning anything. We'll be like this until he goes. I have to wonder, is he interested in winning the league?
Of course he's interested. But I'll tell you what, it's hard to compete at the moment.
Hold on, wait. When I say interested, yeah, I mean, we're all interested in, we're all interested in things. So you might see, I don't know, you might see a house, They say, "Yeah, that house looks nice, man. I'm interested. I'd love to buy that house, you know." Yeah. Or you see a car, I'd love to buy that car. You might see a beautiful lady. I'd love to go out with that. But what steps are you taking? What steps are you taking to get that house, to get that car, to get that girl? What are you just dreaming? Are you just saying, "Oh, I'd love"? What are you doing about it?
That's rubbish. Because if you look at the new technical team, we've brought in Edu, Raul, and the other brother.
They've done, and to be fair to them, I think they've done a decent job. But as I saw that Kia Drapchin say the other day, you know what? They've done a great job, and these are good people that Arsenal have got in now. But if they're not given the funds, there's no point. It's true.
Look, 15, 20 minutes ago, you're the one talking about calculators and this and that. But then you're the one that's going back talking about this money. You're Robbie. I call you out today, man. You're a hypocrite, Robbie.
Listen, obviously you talk about money. I'm just saying that us as Arsenal, and I'm guilty of it as well. Don't get me wrong. I'm not just cussing you, and I'm not just cussing people just coming in. But we're guilty of it. Right? We've been conditioned. It's almost like they've brainwashed us. They put us on a program. Since we've come to the Emirates, right? A program of brainwashing, and they've pulled it off. So now, me, you, all of us Arsenal fans, as soon as we hear about a player we're linked to, immediately we want, there it is. We've got the calculator out. The calculator comes out. We want to know wages, age. We want to know, that's what we want to know. We want to know his wages. We want to know his age. What his plans are, how much he spends on his groceries. We know everything about that. Whereas I'm saying at other clubs, they just want to get the player in. I hear no Chelsea fan saying, "Oh, I wonder how much Ziyech's wages are going to be." Or Timo Werner, you know what? That'd be a good signing, but I don't know, because I heard he wants 200 grand a week. Now, if he comes in on that, you think no Chelsea fan saying that. They're just like, we're getting Werner.
Or even, I wonder what Tammy Abraham is on. You know what I mean? On his first season.
Chelsea fans won't know. They don't care.
No, but they know about Hudson-Odoi, though. They know about Hudson-Odoi's wages. We all know about that.
That's only because he got into trouble. No, that's because he's done a new deal. Because he's done a new deal. That's why we know, right? Glow says, "Where's Ambush?" Unfortunately, Ambush wasn't well, so he wasn't able to come up. We've had Joe. He's been very entertaining. And
new mixtape out soon, my brother. Yeah.
We're gonna do the last couple. Michael's saying, "Welcome to the Robbie Rant Show." I'm sorry, I don't know, honestly, man. I'm fed up with you.
Sweating because I've been laughing so much, you know. And I ain't even got no response.
I just wanna honestly, man. This club's a big club, man. I want them to start operating here. Trent says, "Agree with Robbie. I got laughed at by Liverpool fans for suggesting Havertz. See, would be great for us. Try and see us as Sheffield United or something." It's right. It's right. Because why are we not considering Ozil's coming to the end of his next year?
He's not leaving this year, though, Robbie.
Ozil will be gone next year, yeah? Right? He'll be gone next year. We're suggesting, you'll hear a lot of fans saying, "Oh, you know what? That Havertz would be perfect replacement. You know, that would be a perfect replacement." In the calculators come out now.
You know why though? Because even as you're speaking to me, I'm thinking to myself, does it make sense to sign a new player for that money? And yet 350 grand a week, you times that by 4, obviously that's $1 million plus. Do you see what I mean? Like, so you're looking at like 1.5 times that by 12. Then obviously, do you know what I mean? That's a cool, you know, you're then nearing out the 20-ish million mark. So do you want to do that?
Listen, Joel, yeah. We got one of the best strikers in Europe playing for us. Every year, the man consistently scoring goals. Golden Boot winner last year, right? Second highest scorer in the league this year, right? And we can't even tie him down to give him a new deal. And then we've got fans, right? And I'm not cussing any fan, right? Because everyone's... But again, we've been brainwashed because you'll have fans that, but, you know, So I'm 200 grand a week, and 31 now. You wouldn't hear. If he was any other, I don't even think the Leicester fans ain't saying, "Oh, Vardy, he's 32 now, going on 33." Oh, the amount of money he's getting.
Robbie.
This guy's banging in the goals.
Robbie, he's different to them. He's a club legend. That's like when Scholes and Giggs and that were playing till they were God knows how, and Fergie came out and said, as long as they play, they want to play. They're in the team. It's different. That's what Vardy's like.
I don't think we're going to see any more club legends at this club for a long while, and the reason is because they never stay long enough to become a club legend. Alexis could have been a club legend, but he's sold. Van Persie could have been a club legend, sold him. Ramsey could have been a club legend, sold. We sell them all. It's not just our inability to buy the best players. It's our inability to, when we get quality players and they're showing that they are absolute quality, we can't hold on to them. And now we're seeing it again with Aubameyang. This shouldn't even be.
He's not going. He's not going anywhere, though. He's not going anywhere.
But look how hard it's proving to get this done.
No, but look, Robbie, you need to stop, because last time you spoke to me, you were going on as if he was going Chelsea, and I told you he's not going nowhere.
No, I didn't say that. I said there was a talk that he could go to Chelsea.
And I told you.
You actually saw the other day that Chelsea said the only reason they didn't go for him, right? Lampard, right? So what they said is that Lampard and agent Petr Cech, who was at Arsenal, recommended Aubameyang. They said, let's get in Aubameyang because he will score the goals that we need right now. But in the end, they decided to go for Werner because they were just like, he's younger and we'll have him for a longer time and resale value and stuff like that, right? Otherwise, we would have been under threat from Chelsea, them coming to get him. And knowing us, we would have considered it. Let us go to Chelsea and ask for their, like, say, we'd have went for Hazard. Do you remember when we tried to get Suarez? Remember what they said to us at Liverpool? What are you smoking over there? That's how I'm handling us, Bridget.
I've got a quick question here. Everybody always said that there was
Calculator FC, as Sosa says. Calculator FC.
That's gonna be the new one for the season, you know. You know what I find funny, yeah? When Liverpool said no to us, yeah, in regards to they said no to us in regards to Suarez. They said it's because we paid 50 million and £1. The truth is, there was nothing wrong with the activating the £1. Like, no. Nothing wrong.
You know that's the most annoying thing about it, Joel, right? Is that we hadn't done anything wrong. And if we would have been aggressive, we would have got the deal done, because we'd have been like, yo, stuff you lot, we ain't done nothing wrong. We want the player. Suarez wanted to come. But what it is, as soon as they started making up noise and all stuff like that, we just backed off. We just like, oh, you know what, actually, it's looking a little bit controversial.
It's because Stevie G told him, what do you want to go Arsenal for, man? Wait one more year, I'll put you.
That's what came into play afterwards. But, if Arsenal would have been aggressive enough, they could have got him. But that's what
I think it was down to wages. I think if we money talks, do you know what I mean? If we went in there like, you are our man, and you lay out the red carpet for him, for real, I think he would have come as well.
Yeah. I'm going to do the last couple here because we run right over time. Says, Robbie is not being about a billionaire. Kroenke is not emotionally and financially invested. And top of that, the last 10 years, he's made us all mentally losers. I agree with that. Mentally, we haven't got that winning. That's what I'm saying when I'm saying these things, right? We don't have the fans even. And it's not out. It's been because we've, over the period of time, we've been changed. When I had Coogan on the other day, right? And we were chatting about it during the show. And even because me and Coogan back in the day, we used to go hybrid together, everything. We've been going, obviously I've been going for years. Coogan's been going for years. And we were reminiscing. And even when the show finished, we were for about another half hour, we're there chatting and we're going, yo, Coogan, remember, he's going to be Robbie. Remember that hybrid, that player, this. And then we're like, what went wrong? What went wrong? And all we can point it to that's gone wrong, and I throw this out there to people, and obviously we're near the end of the show, is that we moved from Highbury to the Emirates, and ever since that we've gone downhill. That's what's happened. And like the guy said, mentally, they've changed even the fans. That now we've become, you know, we're all accountants. Every Arsenal fan's become an accountant.
End of the day,
Robbie, too funny. This is this show. Right, listen, I'm not trying to be funny either. That's the thing. That's the thing about it.
Robbie. Nah, Robbie's trying to mentally, he's trying to get to me, bro. I was full of energy. He's trying to bring me down. Listen, the original argument is it is not worth going out there to buy Aaron Ramsey. It doesn't make sense financially. It looks like a step backward for the club.
There you go.
Backwards for the club.
There you go.
We've got other players that we could be developing instead of focusing on him at the moment, and we don't even know if he's going to be fit. Those are my 3 reasons, Robbie.
You see other teams, you know what I mean? They'll go United, they've got Zlatan and all that. We would never.
They needed that. Look where they were, Robbie. You can't compare them. They man had to go and start getting Falcao. All these players that didn't even want to play for the club. The Di Marias, yeah, let's just splash cash. We're Man United. Flash cash. Where did that get them? Got them nowhere. They've even had to rechange. They've changed their system. Now they're going for English core. They've realized it's not always about the money, bro.
It's not always about, Joel, I hear you on that, and I agree with you. It's not always about the money. It's about how you spend the money. It's about doing it intelligently.
Yeah.
You see, but you know what? Like a big example of that is, say, Borussia Dortmund. How they buy players and sell players. They do it intelligently. But you know what with Dortmund, right? Is when they want to sell the player. So even with Jadon Sancho, Jadon Sancho will not leave that club for less than a king's ransom this summer. If the money's not right, he ain't going. If that was us,
nah, Robbie, that's wrong. Because when they were selling, when they were selling all their German stars and you know what I mean, and I know Lewandowski went on a free.
They've got big money for him. They've got big money for him. Big money.
Can't remember. Yeah. I need to check my Bundesliga. I'll come back to you next time. I'll be ready with my homework and my calculator.
All right. Anyway, listen, thank you very much for today, Joel. Thanks for jumping in as well. Get well soon to Ambush. Unfortunately, you weren't able to come on tonight. But yeah, I've really enjoyed it with Joel.
I'm coming back soon, Robbie. I ain't done with you next time, bruv. You get me this tonight, bruv. Nah.
Big up, Joel. Joel, where can they find you?
Cheeky Sport. You can find me on Instagram and Joel Bear 1. Cheeky Sport Instagram as well. Cheeky Sport Insta. And sometimes I actually do match takeovers on AFTV. So when the lockdown's finished, I'm looking forward to doing a lot of the takeovers that Robbie allows me to do in his channel, man. And we do some wild stuff. So stay tuned.
We're gonna have to get you to do a takeover.
Yeah, we need
to. Anyway, a lockdown takeover.
Oh man, yeah, we'll sort it out.
We'll sort that out. All right, listen, thanks a lot, Joel. And thanks everybody who's watched the show today. I hope I haven't depressed everybody too much, right? But I'll be back in the morning with the early morning show. Make sure you check it out.
Peace.